How can the IRS scandal is brewing? Bureaucrats at the agency are seizing private property without any evidence of wrongdoing. Institute for Justice attorney Larry Saltzman joins us to break it all down. Larry, how can the IRS just seize your money?
Well, using civil forfeiture laws, the IRS can seize your cash or bank account, really any assets, without charging you, let alone convicting you of any crime.
Now, you've got a new report out that shows the extent of this problem, and the numbers are staggering. I'll just read a couple of them. More than $242 million seized between 2005 and 2012. More than 2,000 businesses and individuals affected. Larry, why hasn't this hit the front page? Why isn't this a scandal that everybody's talking about?
Well, it's really shocking. In about 80% of those cases that you're talking about, the IRS goes after this money in civil cases, which means that they actually sue your money and not you. They don't have to charge you with any wrongdoing to keep your money, and the burdens of proof for them to keep that money are lower than they would be in a criminal case. So most people settle these cases, or they can't afford to fight, so they walk away from their money, and they just don't get much publicity.
Okay, but there are some court cases that are in progress. Tell us about those.
Sure. Well, the Institute for Justice has taken on a number of these cases recently to try to demonstrate the injustice and why civil forfeiture has to end. For instance, our client Carol Hinders in Iowa, she ran a Mexican restaurant. It was all cash business. She didn't accept credit cards. And because she made regular cash deposits at her bank, as she had done for nearly 30 years, the IRS happened upon that pattern of deposits, thought it was suspicious, seized her entire bank account, $33,000, and kept it for more than a year and a half until finally the Institute for Justice took on her case and won. And she's getting her money back, but other people don't have such a happy story.
Has the Supreme Court ever looked at this issue?
Well, the Supreme Court has looked at civil forfeiture a number of times over the past 20 years, and increasingly they've become skeptical of it. So, for instance, in one of the most recent cases involving a cash seizure, they said when the government seizes large amounts of cash, that perhaps criminal law protections for the property owners have to come into play. But it's really time for the Supreme Court to take this issue up again, because the abuse has grown rampant, as the report you've mentioned the IJ just published shows. Just these bank account seizures, where the IRS alone is seizing cash in bank accounts, those are up fivefold between 2005 and 2012. It's really out of control.
Well, it also sounds like something Congress should take up, just to ban the practice altogether. Institute for Justice attorney Larry Saltzman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Powers.
The IRS intentionally targeted innocent small business owners in order to steal millions via forfeiture laws. Earlier this month, a report from the Treasury Department's Inspector General detailed how the Internal Revenue Service used a restriction on deposits to bilk otherwise law-abiding individuals and businesses of millions of dollars using asset forfeiture laws. Those restrictions require that any deposits made to a bank above $10,000 be reported to the IRS. The stated intention of that restriction is to draw attention to profits generated by illegal acts, such as terrorism and the violation of drug prohibitions. In order to escape that scrutiny, many of those involved in such activities employ what is called structuring, which consists of splitting large deposits into multiple smaller deposits that are below that $10,000 threshold. However, many others involved in completely legal activities also do the same thing for various innocent reasons. Those reasons include a lack of awareness of those restrictions, insurance policies that limit coverage of deposits to less than that amount, and simply an effort to avoid extra paperwork, often on the advice of bank employees. While structuring is illegal under the Federal Bank Secrecy Act, according to the Inspector General, it is really just a technicality that is intended to allow the initiation of an investigation into whether the deposits in question were derived from illegal activities. Instead, the IRS often used the practice of structuring alone as a justification to seize those deposits, via civil asset forfeiture. They also intentionally targeted small businesses and individuals engaged in legal activities due to the fact that they were less likely to be able to fight the forfeitures and in order to avoid time-consuming investigations of actual criminals. Via the Washington Post. They were not put in place just so that the government could enforce the reporting requirements, as the IG's report puts it. But according to the report, that's exactly what happened at the IRS in recent years. The IRS pursued hundreds of cases from 2012 to 2015 on suspicion of structuring, but with no indications of connections to any criminal activity. Simply depositing cash in sums of less than $10,000 was all that it took to arouse agents' suspicions, leading to the eventual seizure and forfeiture of millions of dollars in cash from people not otherwise suspected of criminal activity. The IG took a random sample of 278 IRS forfeiture actions in cases where structuring was the primary basis for seizure. The report found that in 91% of those cases, the individuals and business had obtained their money legally. Most people impacted by the program did not appear to be criminal enterprises engaged in other alleged illegal activity, according to a news release from the IG. Rather, they were legal businesses such as jewelry stores, restaurant owners, gas station owners, scrap metal dealers, and others. More troubling, the report found that the pattern of seizures targeting businesses that had obtained their money legally was deliberate. One of the reasons why legal source cases were pursued was that the Department of Justice had encouraged task forces to engage in quick hits, where property was more quickly seized and more quickly resolved through negotiation, rather than pursuing cases with other criminal activity, such as drug trafficking and money laundering, which are more time-consuming, according to the news release. In most cases, the report found, agents followed a protocol of seize first, ask questions later. Agents only questioned individuals and business owners after they had already seized their money. In many cases, the property owners provided plausible explanations for their pattern of deposits. But these explanations appeared to have been disregarded or ignored. In most instances, we found no evidence that attempted to verify the property owner's explanations, according to the report. It probably shouldn't be that surprising that the Fed's official revenue generators at the IRS jumped on an opportunity to go the extra mile and generate even more cash to fund our dysfunctional, violent uncle's war machine. Nor should it be particularly shocking that they avoided the tedious work of investigating actual criminals in favor of preying on innocent people that lack the ability to fight back. Incidentally, it's unknown exactly how much money the IRS stole from innocent businessmen, because they don't voluntarily disclose those figures and refuse to honor Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, requests for that information even after those requesting it said pretty please.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.